And it's happening again. A really fantastic episode tonight of Walking the Crossroads. I'm here joined by Raven Firewalker, my partner in crime, and we're very happy to welcome Sandee Byrd, a transformational and empowerment coach that works with a whole lot of different modalities that regulate the nervous system to help us tap into our inner being. So she's someone that really commits to kind of exploring the pathways to our central self, our center self. So that's really amazing. And I think it's something I'm very interested in, and I try to get to that point with a lot of my clients as well. So welcome, Sandee.
Thank
How
you.
are you tonight?
I am very well. Very
Oh,
well.
good.
I'm
Good.
excited to be here,
Hmm.
especially after our conversation and
Right.
everything that we've talked about, because I've dabbled in a lot more recently and it is so
Oh, okay.
intriguing.
Okay.
So intriguing.
Well, that's something I'd like to hear a little bit about, or find out from someone coming from more of a structured clinician and then going into the esoteric, because that's the opposite for me, right? So I started with esoteric and then went the other way a little bit to explore that. I would love to hear what you find to be very interesting. We talked a little bit about manifesting as well too, so
Yes.
we want to touch on that at some point. So. Um, uh, Raven, do you have a question for her? That I let him
I
ask this
guess,
all.
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, I guess we can start it
I like
off
that.
with
Yeah, yeah.
your magical or clinical origin story, how you came to want to help other people, and um, what was the experience that you had that led you to this path, and what was that transformation for you?
Ooh. So, my story is I come from a long line of sexual abuse, physical abuse. So with that being in my dynamics, I didn't
Mhm.
realize until I had three children that when you, and I'm probably going to do what I did earlier today when I was talking to somebody else, when you
Mhm.
have gone through something and you suppress it as a female, people don't realize that those children go through that trauma when they come out. And that is the vaginal
Oh wow,
canal
Right,
that they go through. Your
right,
suppressed trauma is
wow.
there.
right.
So my children went through it, and I didn't realize how much not talking about it created
Oh
them to experience the exact same
wow.
things.
Well, in
I
a
I
way, because
never even thought of that. Wow.
it was like the information in the stored trauma was in that chakra center or two,
Yes, yes,
and kind of because it wasn't cleared, their energy system went through it and absorbed
Mhm.
it as a generational thing, which is why we
yes,
talk about generational karma a lot. So
When you
yes,
that's
think
like
about
that's
Hecate,
literally the
Kali,
pathway.
Oya, all those goddesses are all life and death at the same time. They're all
yes.
of 1 foot on each side. Really wow, that was
And
really interesting.
it's
Mhm.
so neat how that chakra is called the sacral, because that is the sacred space.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I didn't even realize it until I started going through this. And when my kids
Mhm.
started telling me their trauma, and I was like, oh, am I allowed to cuss on here?
Fuck
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah. This is
Okay.
this is our
I was like,
I
okay.
have to select not meant for children every time. Yeah, because we have colorful guests and yeah.
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 So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck. Like, as soon as I
Mhm.
heard my daughter was raped, my sons went through physical abuse, which I had
Okay.
gone through all of that. But because I didn't talk about it,
Mhm.
when we finally met at the table, I realized, holy shit, I passed
Mhm.
that shit on to my own children. And that, as a
Sorry
mother,
to hear that.
is something to like be like, oh my God, I should have done my due diligence years ago. Now, my oldest
Mhm.
son, he was born during the abuse from his biological father when
Right.
I'd left him,
Right.
but to know that he'd gone through it. But considering I left him, I didn't think my middle son and my daughter would go through it. And they did.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's when I was able to connect the dots and forgive my mother for her alcoholism and her
Mhm. Mhm.
psychological, her manic depressive state, because she was never
Mhm.
allowed that. She was never
Mhm.
allowed to express. I come from a background where whenever you said something about, oh, I was actually gang raped. I was gang raped, and my family was like, well, just give it to God. What the fuck is God going to
Give
do
it,
with it?
give. And you, yeah, you said you were Catholic, right? That's what it
No, I'm
sounds like.
actually
That was
Christian. I'm Christian.
you were,
I'm Christian.
okay,
Yeah.
but
But
were you
that's what
raised
we were
Catholic or?
told. Huh?
Oh, you were raised Christian.
I
Yeah.
was raised
Give
Christian.
it.
So
Yeah.
everything's give it to God.
Uh-huh.
God will forgive you. Now, when I heard
Uh-huh.
that, that's when I was like, wait a minute,
What
forgive me. What did I do?
What did I? Right. Right.
how do you gain the sin, so to speak, of the person who perpetrated that? How does that happen exactly? How does the math doesn't math to me on that either. I don't get that.
No, no. And that's where I started like, wait a minute. This church isn't for me anymore because I'm not going to take that on as my responsibility.
Hmm.
That was
Right.
never my responsibility. So,
I found that when I was in high school, I was going to a lot of Christian events with my high school girlfriend was Chris. So I got, of course I went to like the overnight camps with her and whatever, and I just found it like everything you're writing, everything you're doing is for God, right? Like everything you output, and as someone as a creative person, I couldn't. It just you couldn't take any ownership of it, and that was weird for me. You know, it was just so that was my disconnect there. So, what could you have done to prevent any of this trauma? Well, there are ways to offset this, and I, of course, know a lot of modalities myself. What could you have done, and what have you learned that somebody could do to not let that translate into their kids?
to talk about it, you got to get it out. So, you've
Mm-hmm.
got to talk about it. And once you can talk about it, you've got to do things to let it go. Some people to let it go means, like shaking or something, just doing a physical action. A lot of times it's the same thing as manifesting. Write it down, burn it,
Yeah.
rip it up. Um, put it in water. I have dissolvable paper. You've got to do something to get it out and then start creating a safe space within your body. That's the problem. We might say, you know what, I was getting raped, but if I don't embrace that, love myself through that, go through the hard ass trauma of maybe reliving it to forgive myself in a sense, because you can forgive them all you want, but it's also forgiving yourself in the long run. And once I was able to do that and shake it off, laugh, do whatever it takes to get that nervous system to feel safe again and connected. So if I would have
Well,
had those options, yeah.
yeah, that's a very hard story to hear. And I'm sorry that happened to you. Anyone really, but the way that the trauma is absorbed and then not released is basically, you're saying, is the issue. And if you hold on to it, you're still in that spiritual space, so that people around you may also kind of like seek the same level,
Yes.
and not be able to move on themselves because they're connected to you karmically. And when you release it and your karma shifts, the shifting happens around you as well, especially to your kin and to your blood family. And
Mhm.
okay, that makes sense. What I guess I would ask, what do people come to you for? And what kind of modalities do you use to help them go through these transformations?
So they come to me a lot now, and I want to go back a little bit. When you said, sorry
Sure.
that happened to me, I'm not anymore. Honestly, I'm
I
not.
get that.
Because
Right.
I use it to connect with people. Like it happened to me, and I
Right.
know why now it happened to me. It happened to me so that I can have a voice for those that don't have a voice. I can also talk about generational curses and how now
Right.
I know it was a bloodline of curse that came from
Yep.
my mom
Right.
to me to my daughter and my sons. But what people come to me about,
It became part of your purpose, right?
yes,
Instead of
it
it being something
became
that
part of my
happened to you,
purpose.
it was part of your purpose. I get that.
It is. And it's always been part of my purpose. I just never really talked about it. But it's people come to me to start regulating their nervous system so they can realize that they can change. You can rewrite you can't rewrite the story that's here, but you can rewrite the story that's here. And to allow people to do that. So many people I shouldn't say so many people. There are people out there that basically say, this is the way I am. I can't change anything.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
We have boxes. We are boxes in our minds,
Yes.
and words are power and thoughts are power. So if you're going to say, I'm never going to change,
You're never.
then you're never going to, that's exactly right.
It's the same thing as I'll never get that job. I'll never get that promotion. I'll never get that degree. I'll never win a freaking car.
Right.
And I've
Right.
done all those things because
Right.
I've realized,
Manifestation. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can
um,
change your thoughts.
would you tell your manifestation story that you told me the other day? Because I thought it was like so charming, and it so ties into a lot of what we talk about on here is not mind over matter, but simply speaking it into existence, like Mother Teresa healing somebody, like just literally just speaking it into existence.
So, do you want me to tell you the negative manifestation that I did as a child, which shut down my
Oh,
manifestation?
well, if you want to do a short version of both, I mean the car one was amazing. I
Okay.
thought that was great.
So, when I
Yeah.
was a kid, I was in a class and there was two Sandees. We both had Y's at the time, and she wrote a bad note about our teacher, which was person of brown skin. I was the class clown. I got beaten. It was back then when you got paddled by the
Oh
principal.
wow.
So I got paddled.
Yeah.
So that when finally it all came out, and I told my mom, I said, I hope she burns to death.
Hmm.
That following weekend, she got 65-degree burns across her body.
Whoa. Wow.
So
Okay.
that's when I
I don't think
learned.
you told me that story. Oh wow, yeah,
That's
that's
when
a
I
humdinger.
learned that
Be careful what you wish
I'm a
for.
witch.
Yeah.
I'm a witch.
Right.
And I better just suppress this, calm this down, whatever. So now, on the positive side, once I realized that we can manifest anything, not bad, you can manifest good. Year ago, April 9th last year, I won a Ford Bronco Raptor, a 2023 Ford Bronco Raptor, wrapped,
Okay.
badass car. She was called Badass Betty because I manifested that. I had said my son wanted to buy my car at the time that I didn't want to have a car payment. So I woke up in the middle of the night and I told my husband, I'm going to win a Ford Bronco. I wanted a Ford Bronco. It took me 4 months, but 4 months later, and
She won a car like that. You pay
That's
the taxes
insane.
on it, and that's it, right? It's your car.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah, I don't
That's
have that
unbelievable.
car anymore. I have another Bronco. I
Mhm.
turned it in, but
It's a handsome car.
same
It's a handsome
thing.
car.
Because I
Mhm.
believed it within myself. I had a regulated nervous system, and I realized that you can speak things into existence if you believe it.
And I can
Wow,
never
that's
say it
crazy.
enough on this program. And if you've heard this before, that's fine. But I think it's worth saying again. The word witch, because it's such a loaded term for people. But let's be real. The root word of the word, the etymology is wick, and wick in Old English means wise.
Nice.
So
Right.
it means a wise person or someone that purveys in wisdom. So it
Right.
really isn't a slam on anybody in
No,
any way, shape, or form.
no. And I, as a child, that's what I thought. So I took that on. But now if someone called me a witch, I'd say, oh, absolutely. 100%.
100%. Right. Yeah.
Well,
100%.
Yeah.
they also call it a learned person, somebody who's been initiated into some, relative sense of understanding of the spirit world and a connection with natural cycles and the other side and within themselves and different path workings. And those types of things aren't really taught in a lot of the traditional paths. And, a lot of the times, they talk about the path that do look into these things for some reason, maybe because they're afraid of it or want to control it, maybe. But yeah, I like it when someone calls me a witch or a witchy. My wife and I say we're not witches, but we're very witchy, because we don't practice traditional witchcraft. But yeah, witch is a positive term to me too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's layers upon layers on us. And that's a big thing with my coaching is that we don't realize how complex we are as a human being. Like, think about generational trauma, generational inheritance that you get from ancestor, past lives, past souls,
Right.
astrological.
The hardest things I've had to work on for people spiritually ever are generational curses. They're the hardest things, and and if you have an older person in your family line that's working against you or has malevolent intent on their mind, it's so hard because you share blood with them. It's just, it gets very, very complicated.
Yes,
It's very complicated.
it does.
Uh-huh. And I think everyone who has a very good relationship with their immediate family is very blessed because,
Yes.
I mean, it's not easy sometimes, right? So,
Mm-mm. No,
No,
I have a
no, it
relationship with
isn't.
my family because I'm woo woo now.
Right.
oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Well,
Well,
it's
me
not.
and you have that in common. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah, you.
the thing is that you can find your family in the life that you have. The chosen family sometimes can be much more beneficial to you and your soul than the ones that you were around as a child and were supposed to take care of you no matter what you turned into, especially if you were a magical person or, uh, off the beaten path or alternative or something. But yeah, that happened to me too. So I understand fully that
Well,
life.
there's a great community around Sticks and Stones. I know it's 2 hours away in Fairfax, but
Yeah.
really fantastic. My owner is and me are like family, and it just the great women's work groups, women's circles, and then I'm also do a lot of consulting and work through Mage and Main, that is a high priestess hair salon where they have different events and stuff there as well. So there is community there if you need it too, and I'd be happy to share any of that information with you. But
Thank
that's what's great about the multicultural aspects of DC areas is you get all that, which is wonderful.
you. Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't have it. I mean, I'm in Chattanooga right now. Like
Yeah.
so. And while there are some cute, like interesting little stores and stuff, you're not going to have that sort of community,
No.
unfortunately. No.
No.
Um, so, could I ask about one of your modalities with building your trauma? I think you said with Legos and other
Mm-hmm.
things. We talk a little bit about that because that's the first time I had heard of that. But do you use a lot of different types of mediums for that expression, or is it primarily Legos? Or
It's so I tap into my own intuition when I'm,
Mhm.
coaching someone. And if
Mhm.
things come through and I ask them for permission, I tell them what I'm getting. And I have been spot on. One person can tell you she's in a very serious relationship because I said she was like crying about not being in not finding the right one. And I was like, because you're not open to it. And I just told her, little breadcrumbs. And a week later, she's coming on. This guy just asked me out, and I think he's going to be the one. And I was like, what? And it's just realizing that when we can stop long enough and be who we want to be, there's so much more open for us. But back to the Legos. So I use
Yeah.
Legos to get you out of the doing part of yourself. Because when you're building a Lego and I ask you a question, how do you see
Hmm.
yourself? You're going to get out of the ego
Oh
side
wow.
and you're going to
Hmm.
get
Hmm.
into the real part of it.
Out of the id.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
And you're going to build, and the build is going to be something. And then when you look at it, you ask questions like, why is it tall? Why did you use blue and not pink? Or why did you use this? Or why did you use that? And why is there a bridge? And normally, most of the time, they are like dumbfounded with like, oh my gosh, that's this, that's this,
Where did it
this.
come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
An
it's
How did you
unconscious
land on
story.
that originally?
that's a good story. So
I'm just a little curious as like where did you just kind of.
I was around a coach who said, I think you'd be interested in Legos. And I was like, I don't know. I remember my kids as children, me stepping on them, hated them.
Stepping on it. Yeah. Oof, that's
So
a
my oldest son,
yeah.
who's a recovering addict, he,
Mm.
after recovery, was like, Mom, I really would love to get into Legos again. I think Legos would get me out of my head. And I was like, message received,
Mm.
paid, went to the class in a month. And that's how I got into it because I realized my son was talking to me that I can use it in so many different areas. And it got him, even as a child, out of his trauma brain to build
Right.
things.
Well,
And
they
that
use they use a lot of that in occupational therapy and
Mhm.
art therapy as well. So it kind of sounds like a lot of the stuff that I've seen
Oh yeah.
in those practices where you're
Um,
you're you're doing something with your hands, you're creating, you're painting, and then you're being asked a question. So you're not really focusing on the direct question to be defensive about it, because you're kind of doing something else, and it kind of creates a more fluid energy in the therapy session. And yeah, I think that's great.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
For me, it's cooking. That's definitely my modality. Is just my center. I enjoy that.
Mine
Do you
is
have
making
one yourself,
beats.
Sandy?
What do I?
Do you have one yourself?
I'm a baker, so baking is.
Oh, bake. Okay. All right. Well, Okay, that's cool.
I'm a baker.
That's cool. So Stephanie's my sister's two kids. Shout out to my niece and nephew, Micah and Sophia. But Sophia is a baker, and Micah loves Legos. So that's kind of ironic. But yeah, those are their two favorite things.
Yeah.
Well, some of them. But
That's how I coach. So I coach. I am probably a coach that is very different because I have gone. I like to work more with local people because I have worked with a female that her thing was cooking. So I went to her house and I said, "Why don't you cook me a meal?" And I was able to tap in to a deeper part of her because she was focused on the cooking, and I could ask a question. So why do you think this? And then she would just talk, and then she would turn to me like, wait a minute, did I just really
divulge this huge thing? Right?
And I was like, because you're not thinking. I would do walking with people or anything. Like if they're hard workout people, I'm just sitting on with the little weights and they're working hard out and I'm asking them a question.
Yeah.
Bam. They can get into the being more than they can at that point.
How they lose
what did she cook for you? I was curious what she cooked for you.
What I remember most was the Brussels sprouts. She made the most incredible Brussels sprouts.
I love it. I love
with pancetta and cranberries and balsamic.
Oh, that sounds marvelous. I love that.
I can't remember the rest of it, but the bruschetta, the Brussels sprouts were the best.
I make a mean cold Brussels sprout, shaved Brussels sprout salad.
Ooh,
I'm
bacon.
Sure you do, buddy.
Yeah. Yes, I do. Yes, you couldn't eat it because it has bacon, but he's vegan. Yeah.
You made some good food when I visited, bro. You made a nice quesadilla.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah.
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 I think my way of getting out of my head is music. So I guess if I was, making a beat and then someone talked to me, I might be, better to talk to because I wouldn't be thinking too much. I think it's just you tap into intuitive side, right? The creative side of the mind.
Yep.
And then that can kind of unlock the things that you're passively trying to hold on to. And I like that. That's cool.
Have a dance party with somebody, you can get them to be so open. Like if you're playing the right music and they're dancing and you ask them a question, and then all of a sudden they're answering, and they're like, wait, what? And I'm like,
right.
You don't realize because you're not focused on oh my God, you make sure I answer this question and not feel guilt or shame. And make sure, totally different.
Now, if they're a Sagittarian, they just deflect the question and to say something funny and then try to avoid it. But no, I'm teasing him again.
Yeah, this guy over here. Yeah. No, it's probably true. You might be right.
You're a Sag?
I'm a Sag, yes.
He's a Sag,
yes.
Yeah.
All day, every day. Well, the only thing about Sag is that we're the only sign that knows we're the best sign. You know what I mean? Like we know it.
So untrue.
So, right. And some people can be around us. They'll never get the full experience of being the best sign, but at least they can be around us. So we offer that as a service.
That's a gift. That's a gift. Yeah,
that's a gift from us.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Y'all,
Sandy, what's your sign, Sandy?
Y'all are the most, I want to say this not to be this mean, but I feel like that's one of the signs that is the most arrogant.
Us? Yes, of course we are. And I'm Gen X, so I'm a Gen X Sag, so I'm just a complete douchebag. I love it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. No, it's true. If you ask my wife, she'd be like, well, there he is. Yeah. We are, you know what the thing is? I think that... No, I think that we're arrogant because we're so awesome. It's just hard not to do it like that, That's the problem.
Oh, is that why? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like
filling in the blanks, buddy.
There's such an overwhelming sense of dopeness. It's just hard not to just be like, I'm dope. Like
of dopeness,
Yeah,
So
it's
Yeah.
Jupiter. It's a gigantic planet. We're just vibing. We're vibing. Yeah. No, I get
yeah,
I
that
have
though. I
another
do. And
friend.
yeah, we're like
Shout
Captain
out to
Jackass,
Zakila,
you know.
but she
Yeah.
yeah, she answers in like 3 word sentences. I'm like, what? Like all these cryptic. I'm like, what are you? But
Yeah.
what? I didn't get any information there. I'm like, what's going on? I don't know. Oh God, I'm just
yes,
very verbose myself.
Sure.
What's your sign, Sandy?
Aquarius.
Oh, that's right. You're Aquarian, like my sister. Yeah. So
Yes.
you guys are awesome, man.
It's your age.
Oh,
Good luck.
Just so easy to
Good
get
luck.
along with for the most part, you know.
yes. We're one of the
Hmm.
best signs out there because we're such humanitarians and we're so caring, but we'll cut you off in a
Proponents of the
heartbeat.
arts. Yeah, I love it.
We'll
You guys are
cut you
cool.
off though. If you really cross that, you got to cross
Oh,
that. And then,
yeah, I've seen that happen too.
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, yeah. So, how do people find you? How do they land on your particular type of like? What do you, so are we calling it life coaching or inner? What's your
I don't like that word
what?
life coaching because it's not.
Yeah, yeah. What would you?
So they land on me because I am
Mhm.
transformational. I I help them transform their lives.
Okay.
But you got to go deep within yourself. You've got to
Okay.
realize you want to transform yourself. And there's many ways, but it's
Uh-huh.
also realizing that there's so many layers to this body, to this
Right.
Right.
human.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing is people get stunned to work with me because I want them to figure out everything from generational curses. I
Right.
don't necessarily do, but I'm dabbling in past life regression,
Hmm.
soul
Hmm.
regression. I mean, just all that. Astrological has been one of the biggest things I've tapped into, and it's just like, oh my gosh, now I do make sense.
Clearer
'Cause
picture. Clearer picture.
I know my
Hmm.
generational traumas. I know my ancestral trauma.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
know now my past life. I haven't done the soul as much. But astrological, oh hell yeah, that makes sense to me.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's all bits
So
and pieces.
When
You put it together, you can build a
um,
little Lego house of your realities and
yes.
sit in there and be comfortable. Yeah, I get that. That's cool. Darren does some of those regressions and
the
things of that
regressions I
nature.
do, I literally use a little hypnotherapy, and
Hmm.
then I do a kind of a spiritual. If I'm in person, I could do it easier than on the phone, obviously, but I've done them over the phone. But I do a spiritual push, and it's a visualization. So it's a transcendental meditation. It's hypnotherapy, and it's a spiritual push back into your past life, so you can see it and experience it. And if there's something you need to let go or something, largely that happens, which is good.
Oh,
The most pertinent one comes through, which is really cool. But I started to embrace doing that because when I studied Vedic palmistry, I would always start with your childhood on your lifeline, and then I realized past lives are a big part of Vedic thought process anyway. So I'm like, I need to start because you can look at your past lives like a ring on a tree, rings on a tree.
oh,
Sure.
absolutely.
So I started starting with how kind of an old a soul you are in this soul path. There'll be layers of soul paths, but how old a soul are you this time, and are there any problem lifetimes? Because they'll show up as a bubble, and that really helped my practice transform.
Right
Was
on.
was doing yeah, because even before you're a kid, you might start with a deficit, or who knows, or
Oh,
start
yeah.
with all sorts of buoyancy. Where did it come from? So
Yeah,
I,
I need
that
to
really
look
helped me.
back into my stuff. Might need to look back into my stuff and see some of the trauma that I have, like from my childhood and teenager years, and maybe how it ties into something that happened before. I've seen little things like that, but yeah, that sounds interesting. That would be probably informative to me.
Also, another big thing is that dream. I mean, if you can tap, well, there's more modalities that I like to get into. One of which I was talking today about is animals.
Mhm.
If you can read animals or have conversation with animals,
Mhm.
that's why I know I'm a witch because I can talk to some
Yeah.
animals. But when they present themselves to you and how they present themselves to you, there's a message there. And a lot of people don't understand that either.
Right.
That,
Um, so have you tried to do divination for an animal?
wait a minute,
Sandy, have you tried to do divination, like a tarot reading for a dog or so, or a cat or something?
I haven't tried to do that, no, but I've
Mhm.
had
I
conversations with.
I hopped in and I was asked to do a Jack Russell Terrier. This is maybe 4 weeks after I met
Ooh.
this guy at Marie Laveau's House of Voodoo on Bourbon Street, and I'm like, I'll give it a try. I don't know, but what I did was just extended my energy field to this dog and opened up my head chakra and my guides open up to its intelligence and its feeling, and it's empathically was getting everything from it, and then I shuffled the cards and I picked cards for the dog for the I'm using his energy, and then I picked cards for him, and then I did a reading on him.
Oh, okay. I got 3
Yeah.
dogs right now in my house, so I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, give it a try. You never know, right? I mean, but it works for me. Again, I do this for a living, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people. So there's two different paths to psychic development: either manifesting or divination.
Hmm.
Intuition. I think you have both. So I think you could
I can
do both
agree
for
to
sure.
that. I can agree to
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I know for sure I have both, but like
Hmm.
I said, as a
Hmm.
child, um, number one, I was also seen as a witch by my own mother, so I stopped that. And then when
Oh,
I
that's hard.
knew
That's
ahead of
hard.
Yeah.
time things was going on, and I was
Hmm.
able to name it or talk about it, I was also squashed again. Like you
Mhm.
can't do that. You're weird. You can't do that.
Yeah.
And I really wish I wouldn't have gone through that because I think my path would have been different. But I realized my
Hmm.
path is the way my path is supposed to be.
Yeah, sometimes those the
Hmm.
crooked parts of the path are really um, the great tapestry just being unfurled in front of you. That's a beautiful thing when you tune into it, but sometimes it takes you through a lot of crap first. So
Oh yeah.
it's
Oh,
tough.
absolutely. But
But you
I
made it through the
don't.
other side of a lot of that stuff, and now you can help people. So that's good.
Oh, absolutely.
That's great.
Yes. I also do dream interpretations, a lot of dream interpretations if they have dreams as well.
So, so my takeaway for dreams has always been, I think I will do some of that for people, but I always am a big believer that the dream is a message for you
Oh,
specifically.
oh yeah.
So you're helping people arrive at what they're getting from the dream.
Yes.
Okay, that
Yes.
makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not,
Mhm.
no, I'm not like, give me your dream and I'll, no, I walk them through it. Like, I dreamt of
Okay,
this. Okay,
yeah,
so
there you go.
what did that
Mhm.
bring up for you? Do you remember how you felt
Right.
during the night?
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
there's
Right.
been so many
Yeah.
times where I've had dreams or something and I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to wake up. I want to go back. Take me back.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
We're gonna have an episode on lucid dreaming coming up. Just the two of us. We're gonna talk about it. But yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
could go right
Yeah.
back into the
Soon.
dream. I can tell myself to do. I can do stuff in the dream, create stuff. It's like crazy, but like it's through meditation and it's through doing so much visualization and manifestation.
Yep.
I think that's where the lucid dreaming got really easy for me.
Yes. And hypnosis.
Yeah,
Because I also do
yeah.
hypnosis. And I feel like ever since I really tapped into that and been able to do it in myself, that's when I realized how you can basically step on the other side or step to the other side and really
And do it
see.
quickly if
Oh,
you need
yeah.
to. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that the main thing that I do with what I would call hypnosis is when I'm talking to someone and they're asking me a question. I do this a lot at my job. They ask me a lot of spiritual questions or just like maybe trivia questions they just want to have answered. But I go into a state of being where I can speak a certain language and activate certain parts of their awareness to become awake while they're standing in front of me. And sometimes after about 5 minutes, I've said a lot of things and their perception of the universe, their perception of themselves, their energy field, what's around them, what they can connect to, what reality could be even in their own experience. The collective energy sometimes is a way like you can kind of put out this magnetism just by speaking, and that alone can make somebody have a hypnotic state. And sometimes when I'm done, it's like they don't even know that I just hypnotized them. They don't know why their body is warm, why they feel strange, and like things are kind of like lit up around, you know what I mean? Like you can actually cause changes through that. So that's my only way of hypnotism. It's not really a classic way of doing it, but that's my story.
I like that one.
Doesn't hurt if you're under sea level either. So there's that.
Yeah, I'm dealing with the spirits in there. So yeah, it helps. Yeah, for sure.
You're under sea.
I
Yeah.
guarantee you have a lot of spirits down there in New Orleans.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I swim in them every day. Yeah.
Mm.
One
do.
time, Sandee,
And
I
it's
looked
fun.
up. He was coming to meet me, but I was hiding in a bush because I literally was surrounded by there was a slave auction going on, and everyone was in antebellum clothes, and I was watching it go on around me in this old courtyard in the back of this like restaurant, and I'm like, what is? It was really quite harrowing, and it just appeared around me. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So
He went to go get a drink, and then we said, "Where did Darren go?" We heard rustling in the bushes, and then we saw his head pop up. And we said, "Darren, what's up?" And he was not there yet. He was kind of looking around like he was seeing all kinds of stuff. And we were like, "What just happened to this guy? What was in that
it
last
just
drink?" And then he started talking to us. We're like, "Holy shit, dude!" And then we sat down and talked about it and kind of channeled it. But yeah, the image of your head slowly rising out of the bushes there was, I'll never
they took
forget
the
it, man. I'll
railing
never
down
forget.
where they were lining up all these people. They took
Yeah.
that railing down because it kept happening there. I asked about it. I'm like, why'd you take the back of the building
Right.
down? And they're like, oh, because people kept seeing weird stuff. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was one of
Yeah.
them.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
What?
Welcome to New Orleans for that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right. So to
What?
finish it off here,
Moving.
how do
Moving
we
forward.
find you? How do we find you? What are you doing next? What's going on with you?
There you go.
So
Yep.
you can always find me at Sandee Byrd, Sandee, Byrd, BYRD.com. On all social media platforms. I do have a podcast. It's called Emotional Elevator. I talk all about how you can change your mindset to, riding the emotional elevator of life, generational traumas, manifesting. I have put on there about my, manifesting a car. I haven't really talked as much about the witch phase of my life and how I kind of squashed that. That's going to come up soon. And that's my biggest things. And I have coaching on my website. I do have coaching programs on there, but I don't necessarily coach around that. I coach as to what you need, but it looks good to have programs there, but it's more
curated
about
to the client. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's curated to the specific.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm institutional.
Well, we're going to leave your information. We'll leave all your information in the description box
All of our
below.
information will be in the description of the episode and the notes. Yeah.
When does this episode air?
Well, we'll within the next
Probably next Wednesday.
Probably next Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah. It don't take long.
Okay.
Every Wednesday we do an episode of some sort. So yeah. So we just posted one, and then we're gonna do. It was kind of a trailer, and then we're gonna do your episode for this upcoming Wednesday.
Okay, because I also have a book coming out. At the end of
well, please, we would like to. We want to know, exactly what's coming up for Sandee. Yeah, Sandee Byrd.
It's called Emotional Elevator. It's basically.
Oh, okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So that's your method. That's basically your method, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
And it's going to detail a little bit about the book.
It's basically curated from my podcast. It's basically going through generational trauma. It's from silence and setbacks to resilience and freedom. And each chapter has a reflection, so you can ask yourself. I have the mirror exercise in there, which is something I promote with people because the way to tap into your true being is by holding up a mirror and not looking at this, getting deep into the shell, getting deep into the soul.
I like mirror magic myself.
It was written basically from my podcast and all that I talk about on there. And it's just kind of building the resilience and really tapping into trauma and realizing.
Are you familiar with Julia Cameron?
Yes.
I love her. Yeah. Yes. So I love that sort of thing. Yeah. I would sign up for that immediately. Yeah. I love that sort of thing.
So
Well, great, great. I think that's we just scratched the surface of talking about generational trauma
Obviously,
and
yeah.
what makes it difficult for us to be our true selves on this episode. So, if you want to hear more from Sandee, please get a hold of her. Her information will be in the notes. Thanks again, Raven Firewalker, and thanks for all of you listening. Do not forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again on Walk in the Crossroads.